for those who don't know, I am currently by two major streets and under a freeway. So there's a lot of noise in the background. But speaking of noise or things that are not going to be noise, we have
the good
Immortal
noise.
Technique.
Yeah, the fourth branch. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Immortal Technique, I have yet to find a singular line I can even argue with with this guy, and I'm determined to do it. There's no way this guy is going to bat 1,000 to, on everything he says. It's impossible. But so far, he's done it as far as I'm concerned. And so, yeah, another opportunity to see if there's anything at all that he says that isn't 100% fact. We'll
All
see.
right. Well, the first line is "The new age is upon us."
That's always true, though.
All right, so
So
then
that's
you don't
always
disagree.
true. You can't disagree with it. It's always a new age coming. So this guy is so perfect. He knows every trap, every trick, and every piece of human history that's ever been lived. I believe
Yes.
he's some sort of alien, or at least has like an alien friend. That's
probably.
Probably. He's just something about him, man. He's just so smart. But let's check out the fourth branch and see what he's got for us.
New age is upon us, and yet the
Love
past
this beat,
refuses
man.
to rest in a shallow grave. For those who hide behind the false image of the Son of Man shall stand before God, 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 God.
He's so epic.
It has begun, the beginning of the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
that vinyl crackle. Man, he's...
Yeah.
Ooh, this is gonna be dirty good.
The voice of racism preaching the gospel is devilish. A fake church called the Prophet Muhammad a terrorist. Forgetting God is not religion, but a spiritual bond. And Jesus is the most quoted prophet in the Quran. They bombed innocent
Come on, man. He's already slaughtered me. He's just slaughters me. I guess I just love the topics he talks about anyway,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he just hammers it down. He's not asking you any questions. He is telling you what's up, that with his delivery, It's always just like, this is what's going on. Not like, don't you think we should do this or that? No, he just lays the hammer down. Anyway, I love this guy.
Yeah. I didn't see you had a lyric video up.
Yes, yeah, no official video possible, so the lyric is good, right?
Always good with him. You want to know everything he's
Yeah,
saying.
right.
That way
Right,
you can find
right,
something to disagree with.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try like hell, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try.
people trying to murder Saddam when you gave them those chemical weapons to go to war with Iran. This is the information that they hold back from Peter Jennings, cause Condoleezza Rice is just a new age Sally Hemings.
Now that I don't know what that means, but I might argue with that. Condoleezza Rice, former Secretary of State, is just a new age Sally Hemings. Sally Hemings was the slave owned by Thomas Jefferson, and they figured that all her 6 kids were Tommy's. I don't know the connection there, but Condoleezza Rice is a woman now. I didn't really pay attention back then,
Yeah.
I think she's a real stand-up person. And Sally Hemings, there's nothing... Oh, all right. Oh, all right. I'm not smart enough to know. I'm just not smart enough to know. I thought there was something there, but he's probably saying it just right. I can't figure it out. All right, sorry for the interruption.
Mm-hmm.
Break it down with critical language and spiritual anguish. The Judas I hang with, the guilt of betraying Christ, who murdered him, stole his religion, and painted him white. Translated in psychologically tainted philosophy, conservative political right-wing ideology, glued together sloppily the blasphemy of a nation. Got my back to the wall, cause I'm facing assassination. Guantanamo Bay, federal incarceration. How could this be? The land of the free, home of the brave, indigenous Holocaust, and the home of the slaves. Corporate America, dancing offbeat to the rhythm. You really think this country never sponsored terrorism? Human rights violations, we continue the saga. El Salvador and the Contras in Nicaragua. And on top of that, you still wanna take me to prison just cause I won't trade humanity for patriotism. It's like MK Ultra controlling your brain, suggestive thinking, causing your perspective to change. They wanna rearrange the whole point of view of the ghetto. The fourth branch of the government want us to settle. A bandana full of glittering generality, fighting for freedom and fighting terror. But what's reality? Read about the history of the place that we live in, and stop letting corporate news tell lies to your children. Flow like the blood of Abraham through the Jews and the Arabs, broken apart like a woman's heart, abused in the marriage, the brink of holy war, bottled up like a miscarriage. Embedded correspondents don't tell the source of the tension, and they refuse to even mention European intervention or the massacres in Jenin. The innocent screams, US manufactured missiles and M16s, weapon contracts and corrupted American dreams, media censorship.
So he's saying that, all right, so we have three branches of the government officially, right?
Right.
We got the
Executive.
president, yeah, the executive, that's the president, the legislative, that's Congress, and the judicial, which is the courts. Primarily Supreme
Yeah.
Court, more in the circuit
All
courts,
the,
right?
yeah, and districts.
Yeah. But he's saying there's a fourth branch,
Yeah.
which is all of this, like the people that are
I think
controlling the lies of
I
the
think
media.
the fourth branch is this guy right here.
Well,
Illuminati, baby.
yeah, but I think, I mean, has he ever talked about Illuminati per se?
Not never that I've heard, but maybe somewhere.
No.
But he has. If I can't think, he mentioned MK Ultra. He's mentioned, which was a government-run program, right?
Right.
So it might be that, because I'm trying to figure out exactly what the fourth branch to him means too. Like, what is that definition? Maybe it's all the things that our government actually does do that we don't know of, or they don't admit to, or something.
It's kind of like the people that are pulling the strings. I think he's saying the corporate, right? Because they're the ones who's choosing to, as you said, there's all the manufactured missiles and the M16s and, you know, all the...
There's the other... yeah.
Yeah, and all the you know, it's just sort of like the... I lost my train of thought there.
Well,
anyway.
there's corporate, there's media, and there's...
But that's corporate. Telling lies to our
media
children.
would be corporate.
Sure.
Pharmaceuticals, that would be corporate.
100%.
Okay, then corporate is the fourth branch, as I'm feeling it so far.
Right. And I
The
think
corporate.
that if you go back to where he's talking about the Condoleezza Rice, I think he's actually trying to say that she's one of the good people.
I think so too.
She's
That's
just
why I
out there.
stopped talking, because I know Sally Hemings wasn't a bad person, and she was just saying, he's saying like Condoleezza is a modern day Sally Hemings, but the line prior was something about holding truth from Peter Jennings, you know, Nightly News, Peter Jennings.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite get it, right? I didn't quite understand, but the way I started, kept going, I was like, no, that's not. I don't think he's ripping her. I think it's something about this corporate entity, the media, powerful, pharmaceutical bomb makers, this whatever,
Yeah.
They're
the
force
corporate, the
that
money.
are turning
Yeah.
Condoleezza Rice might as well be some, it's terrible to say out loud like that, but it's like the way he puts it, damn, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, and it's just, hey, it's gotten even more, like this internet was supposed to be like a place of freedom from all of this. It was supposed to append, the status quo, but here we are back in the corporate world, and it's like the big corporates have taken it all over and interjected, their lies and their mythology. And like even Google for a short time was like one of the remember who's the Boston Dynamics? They're the ones who make all those war machines and everything. For a while Google was like one of their big financiers, or whatever, supporters. They eventually
this topic goes forever. I mean, you look at the Facebook dude who he spent hundreds of millions of dollars to influence those all the places where people were thinking they were running the election kind of oddly and kicking people out and wouldn't let them in and all that.
Yeah,
every single one of those had money given to them in the millions and millions by him taught them, whoever it was specifically, they taught them the process they wanted to conduct themselves in during that election. Whether that's illegal or not, I have no idea. But it's like, that's another, talk about, it's one of the top 5 richest people in the world trying to influence elections and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we could just read whatever's in the Time article, but this is getting on we shaky could go, areas where, you know what I mean?
Oh, fuck these people. When we get a few more subs, I do have to start shutting up. But for right now, I think we're okay. We're just under the bar there, but I know what you mean, man. But this is why we turn to Immortal and let his art kind of do the talking for us, because he's got a way with the words and great music, and man, does he hit the messages. But
I think we need to go back to the message.
I think you're right. Let's do that now.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's right. You stopped it.
A continent of oil kingdoms bought for a bargain. Democracy is just a word when the people are starving. The average citizen made to be blind to the reason. A desert full of genocide where the bodies are freezing, and the world doesn't believe that you're fighting for freedom, cause you fucked the Middle East and gave birth to a demon. It's open season with the CIA bugging my crib, trapped in the ghetto region like a Palestinian kid, where nobody gives a fuck whether you die or you live. I'm trying to give the truth, and I know the price is my life, but when I'm gone they'll sing a song about Immortal Technique, who beheaded the president and the princes and sheiks. You don't give a fuck about us. I can see through your facade like a fallen angel standing in the presence of God. Bitch niggas scared of the truth when it looks at you hard. It's like MK Ultra controlling your brain, suggestive thinking causing your perspective to change. They want to rearrange the whole point of view in the ghetto. The 4th branch of the government want us to settle. A bandana full of glittering generality, fighting for freedom and fighting terror. But what's reality? Martial law is coming soon to the hood to kill yo, while you hanging your flag out your project window. Yeah. The 4th branch of the government, aka the media, seems to now have a retirement plan for ex-military officials, as if their opinion was at all unbiased. A machine shouldn't speak for men, so shut the fuck up, you mindless drone. And you know it's serious when these same media outfits are spending millions of dollars on a PR campaign to try to convince you they're fair and balanced, when they're some of the most ignorant and racist people giving that type of mentality a safe haven. We act like we share in the spoils of war that they do. We die in wars, we don't get the contracts to make money off them afterwards. We don't get weapons contracts, nigga. We don't get cheap labor for our companies, nigga. We are cheap labor, nigga. Turn off the news and read, nigga. Read. Read.
That guitar is just like everything to me. You just so rarely hear a really sweet guitar, thing underneath an awesome hip-hop track, Right. That's so cool to integrate that. On top of him being kind of a master of ceremonies of his style of writing and stuff, there's so much intensity and amazement in his words and ideas.
Yeah.
But then he never forgets the music. You know, some people forget the music. If they ever find a message, they forget everything else, and vice versa. You know, some just have the music and they don't say anything.
Yeah,
But
I just think he's, he's right. This is a thick track. I mean, it's hard to,
very thick.
like, there's a lot in it that he's saying 100% true. It's just sort of like the fourth branch is just whoever's manipulating, right? And, like, that's the thing. Like, he just starts off talking about the religious aspects of, like,
Yeah, that's right.
if you
Religion.
if you want to break a society, right, take away their religion. You know what I mean?
Well, that's one way, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's historically what's happened, right? The first thing that goes, religion, the guns, everything else.
Oh, yeah,
now
right to
the people,
speak and all kinds of stuff.
yeah, and then it ends up at the end. It's like, we're the cheap labor. We're the people that are. We're not getting any rewards for all this stuff that's happening. We are.
But the fourth branch, if it were in terms of corporate, they are, because we go beat up someplace and then we pour a bunch of money in it and put our, the big companies put their factories over there.
Yeah.
And like get this super cheap labor,
Yeah.
And even if that's the case with the, what jobs are left or have been left. Now this track wasn't made yesterday, so I see a little dating in it,
like 2003 or so. Yeah, because Condoleezza Rice,
right, stuff
office,
like that, and yeah, exactly. But it's still timeless. Some of it is very timeless, But yeah, even then, whatever is left would be the cheap labor. Where the cheap labor and what this time period is done. Which I don't think the time period we're living in now with the virus going on, I don't think any of us know how to quantify it just yet. But so many people are not going back to work or are leaving the smaller jobs, And it's just really interesting how they're even trying to pay you more for them, but people aren't doing it. So there's definitely something internal, and people are feeling like I was always the cheap labor or something, like that resonated with me when he was talking like that. I was like, damn, that's really occurring right now, too. Like that sense of like, it don't matter about exactly how many dollars you're going to give me. You treating me, and society is treating me as the cheap labor.
Right.
And it's like,
right.
that ain't it, man. I don't need to be the guy who strives to be the king in the castle. I just need to be a guy who's striving to take care of his business. Yeah. So I'm happy working over here or there or whatever. I can make X amount, and that does okay for me for right now, but you making me feel like cheap labor. You make me feel like you making me feel low when you should have no right to make me feel any which way, really, if we're truly free and stuff like that. So yeah, that last part, that whole arc kind of resonated with me there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's as always a deep song steeped in history. You just say like, maybe this sounds a little bit dated, but there's that quote that I believe is wrongly attributed to Albert Einstein, because they always attribute him. I'm like, no, but they say history doesn't repeat itself, history rhymes. And yeah, that's it. This song is timeless.
Who said that?
I have no idea.
But you don't believe that it was Albert Einstein?
No.
Why?
Because they always want to attribute wrong things to celebrities and smart people. Come on, you mean to tell me that
that's a pretty big accusation of sorts.
I'm gonna make that accusation. Look at how
yes.
You know how many things are attributed to Einstein and Mark Twain that they had never ever said?
Is
like it
attributed or attributed?
I don't care.
See, this is what this Dave is one of the most like clear-minded thinkers that won't go over any kind of line. Make sure he's bright and proper. He knows he's on some kind of camera. And yet, look what Immortal Technique does to him. It just straight up makes him just pound the table. Fuck that. I don't need to. He's like, it's awesome. That's awesome. I've never heard you be so certain and bold with proclamations. It's great. Fuck that. Albert Einstein didn't say that shit. I'm backing Dave up. I got your back on this.
Right. And now someone's going to pull up a video where he's actually saying it.
Yeah, where he actually says it. And I'll be like, CGI, motherfucker. That was... I'm never letting go of this. No, but that's the power of technique, man. He makes your mind work. He makes your mind work. And if everything is like, oh, this is stupid and dumb, well, guess what? You're stupid. You know what I mean? If you sit
I'll
there
back
and
you
have
up
nothing,
on that, actually.
Yeah. But love technique and we can't wait for the next one. He's always awesome. So and great music here too. Great music.
Oh yeah, awesome song. Thank you for everybody that suggested it.
Yes, thanks for the suggestion. Sorry for the shout outs. It was a bunch of people though. So.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, and we'll be doing more Immortal Technique.
Yeah, we'll never let go of Immortal. So, all right, Jesus.
Bye.